Good day and welcome to this channel. Thank you for watching. Today we will start with this very hot topic called EMSA. What is EMSA? Well, how come it has such a big impact on the maritime industry in the Philippines? Where did this EMSA come from? So many questions, some good, some not so good. And it's always in the news, in the maritime press here in this country. So, to give you a backgrounder, let's jump in.
So what is EMSA? Well, EMSA is an acronym for the European Maritime Safety Agency. It is a subdivision under the European Commission, which is the governing body for all maritime affairs of the European Union, meaning European member states of EU, they abide by the Commission. So when it comes to maritime affairs, safety, training, that's the job of EC. Then the EC appoints the EMSA group to either audit, visit, or train member states. And what does that have to do with the Philippines? Well, since most ship owning companies and ship management companies are of European based and EU members, it's but natural for them to use the services of EMSA in vetting a most one of the most important components of shipping, which is the crew. Hence, EMSA, for all its composition, does audits outside of the EU. So, looking now at this diagram, which was lifted from their EMSA website, very simple and straightforward. EMSA reports to the executive director, who then again reports to an administrative board, and most likely it is the EC. Uh, in their department, they are the persons that compose visits and inspection and human element. Okay, so most likely these are the people who are very technically qualified to do audits. And remember, they do not go just to any country. It is selected. Okay, and then they always use the STCW Convention and Code as amended as their guidance for doing uh, audit inspections or audit visits. So they don't just come here to the Philippines and pick at random anything they like. No, it's basically your standard audit wherein the audit questions emanate from STCW Code and Convention as amended.
Okay, so to continue, now that you've seen the previous slides when we showed the organizational setup of EMSA and its function with regards to the European Union member states and their maritime requirements. So, what they did first was to, as I said earlier, go to the countries that provided the most number of seafarers for their ships. Okay, so the initial visit was in April 6 up to 26, 2006. Quite long because EMSA did a full audit of compliance to the STCW Convention and Code as amended. Okay? Marina, being the flag state, took charge of welcoming the audit team. Okay? Each key convention regulation was taken as part of the audit plan. So, like any audit, there is a pre-audit meeting. Okay? Marina had no direct hand, which is very strange now. But right then, before, Marina had no direct hand in managing the STCW compliance. As we get along, I will show you how the setup was. Okay? So what happened was Marina just brought these EMSA auditors to specific government agencies that handled so far some items in STCW. Looking back now, it was a wonder how we were able to manage any audit from EMSA for that matter. Since Marina was the lead agency for this EMSA audit, Marina brought the audit team around all the concerned government agencies that handled during that time STCW, which came as a surprise for the auditors because of different agencies had different styles of implementing the STCW. And after that long period of audit, the EMSA auditors had their last post-audit meeting in Marina and left a copy of the audit findings. Okay, I posted here some because there were a lot, but these were the critical items that made EMSA think that there is no one single agency tasked to handle the STCW affairs. That was during that time. And the reason was very obvious at that time is what the system of setup in the Philippines was quite different at the time. Marina being the flag state, however, the training and education was not handled by Marina. It was handled by some other government agency. Okay, so to explain what I said earlier, that EMSA was quite surprised at the setup of Marina, let me show you the evolution of our STCW in the Philippines. Okay, uh, basically, it wasn't what you know of now, way back in 1984, wherein the administration during that time signed an LOI or letter of instruction number 1404 establishing a center for all the STCW training, assessment, and certification. And it wasn't Marina. Okay? So this went on for the longest period until the administration of President Aquino, the son, who signed an executive order numbering 75 back in 2012, which made Marina the sole government agency tasked to handle the STCW. Okay, very interesting. So to continue, it was like this for 28 years, wherein the letter of instruction created the MTC, or which was known as the Maritime Training Council. It was council under the Department of Labor and Employment, not under Marina. So with that, uh, the different agencies that also had a say in STCW had to coordinate with each other and with MTC. As you can see in the uh, illustration, MTC was at the center, okay, and MTC coordinated with the other government agencies, which handled anything STCW, and Marina was just one part of the agencies. So I counted at least 11 agencies that must be dealt with in order to get a certificate that is STCW. It was quite difficult. And that was so from 1984 to 2012. It's getting better and better. So now that Executive Order number 75 was signed and implemented, it placed Marina at the center of all things that are STCW, with the other agencies coordinating. While this looked good, it was still on shaky ground because the connectivity of these agencies were only under a memorandum of agreement with each other. But still, their style of implementing, interpreting, monitoring STCW was left to each other's agencies. So it still was not enough. So it was quite difficult to get the others to agree on something because they had their own interpretation of that, which was quite a challenge during that time. Wow. And what we have now is due to 2015's implementation. So from 2015 till today, we are operating on this kind of setup wherein everything that is STCW is handled by Marina. And inside Marina, there is a STCW office dedicated only for all things STCW. These were the items that were highlighted and observed by the audit team, but was addressed eventually through these previous slides, which gave them a feeling that there is a concerted effort to make STCW work in the Philippines. So, having said that, I think their last visit was in 2016 before the implementation of 2017 deadline, and it was more of a verification of the ISO certification, the Republic Act, and all these things, which they really accepted as an earnest effort of Marina during that time to correct itself to become acceptable to the external users of our seafarers.
So, to recap what EMSA is with regards to the Philippines, EMSA is an agency that conducts quality audits using the STCW Convention and Code as amended only. It also does safety and environment training, flag and port state visits. It does maritime safety audits under STCW for all its EU member states by being a representative for and on behalf of them. EMSA is not and does not interfere in the process of STCW application of different flag and port states that it visits. It does not interfere in education and training conducted by any institute or training center of any state it visits or audits. And it does not decide on the outcome of the audit. It follows a process of vetting, the results of which are always deliberated by the European Commission. So there you have it. EMSA, for all its audits, is limited with regards to the Philippines only to audit the STCW system being employed here in our country. That's about it.
Okay, so I guess that's about it for this EMSA saga, this episode, and I hope you enjoyed and picked up some bits of information and data that will help you in your career as a seafarer and both at land and at sea. Like anything else, please support this channel and thank you for watching. Until the next episode, uh, this is call sign 8 Tango Yankee 3 signing off, and bon voyage, mates, wherever you are. Ciao.